Before we start this story, I want to ask you something. If you've ever felt powerless when someone in authority crossed a line, if you've ever wished there was proof when no one believed you, if you've ever wanted to see justice served when the system seemed stacked against the victim, this story is for you. And if it resonates with you, if it makes you feel something, hit that like button, not for me, for every Selena Cruz out there who stood up when it mattered. Now let's talk about Captain Wayne Barrett. Every pilot knows one rule. The cockpit voice recorder captures everything, every word, every sound, every moment. Captain Wayne Barrett forgot that rule, or maybe he just didn't care anymore. 20 years of flying burned him out, stress, pressure, bad decisions compounding. And today, on Flight 374 over the Atlantic, his burnout is about to turn into assault. Because when he grabs flight attendant Selena Cruz's arm in the galley and threatens her, he doesn't know three things. 1. She's a former aviation law assistant who knows exactly how CVR evidence works. 2. The cockpit door is open and the recorder is capturing everything. 3. In the next 6 hours, that black box recording will end his career permanently. It's 7:35 p.m. Miami International Airport. Gate D17. The Airbus A340 sits ready. Registration N374AA. An 8-hour overnight flight to Madrid waiting ahead. Evening humidity hangs heavy over the terminal. Ground crew completes final cargo loading. 290 passengers begin boarding. Business travelers settling into premium seats. Families starting vacation. The usual transatlantic evening crowd. Captain Wayne Barrett arrives at the gate looking exhausted. 49 years old, 20 years with the airline, dark circles under bloodshot eyes, Navy uniform wrinkled slightly, unusual for a captain, graying hair needs a trim. His 4 gold stripes still shine, but everything else about him screams fatigue. He carries himself with the weight of someone who stopped caring months ago. Wayne's burnout didn't happen overnight. Started 5 years ago, wife left, took the kids, divorce expensive and bitter. Then his father got sick, dementia. Wayne became the caregiver between flights. Then the airline restructured, cut benefits, increased flights, less rest, more pressure. The job he once loved became a grind. But he's too close to retirement to quit. 2 more years, just 2 more years, and he can get out with full pension. So Wayne stopped caring about anything except surviving. Minimum effort, maximum shortcuts, crew briefings, rushed, weather reviews, superficial, passenger issues, not his problem. Let the flight attendants handle it. He's just here to fly the plane and collect a paycheck. His first officers learned not to ask questions. His cabin crew learned not to expect support. Wayne Barrett became the captain everyone tolerates, but nobody respects. He enters the cockpit, First Officer Amanda Foster already completing pre-flight. 29 years old, 4 years with the airline, sharp and detail-oriented. She updates him on weather, light chop over the Atlantic. Madrid's reporting scattered clouds. Routine flight. Wayne barely acknowledges her, drops into his seat, tells her to finish the checks. She does, alone, like always. In the cabin, flight attendant Selena Cruz prepares for boarding. 36 years old, 7 years with the airline. But before that, 5 years as a legal assistant at a major aviation law firm, specialized in pilot misconduct cases, crew safety violations, and FAA enforcement actions. She knows aviation law better than most captains, knows the regulations, knows the procedures, knows exactly what evidence matters in an investigation. Selena left law 3 years ago, burnout of her own, different kind, the endless paper pushing, the political games, the distance from actual aviation. She loved planes since childhood, decided to work in them instead of around them, became a flight attendant, used her legal knowledge to help colleagues file grievances, advise on safety concerns, document incidents properly. She's not just crew. She's crew with expertise. She moves through her boarding duties efficiently, checking emergency equipment, reviewing passenger manifest, coordinating with ground staff, professional, thorough. She notices Wayne through the open cockpit door, sees the exhaustion, the disconnection, red flags from her legal experience. This captain's not okay, she makes a mental note. Watch him carefully tonight. Boarding proceeds, passengers settling in, overhead bins filling, normal pre-flight chaos. Then row 18. A passenger tries forcing an oversized bag into the overhead compartment. It doesn't fit, blocking the aisle, creating a bottleneck. Selena approaches, politely explains the bag needs gate checking, regulations about bin capacity, safety concerns during turbulence. The passenger gets annoyed, insists it'll fit, pushes harder. Other passengers waiting impatiently behind him. Selena maintains her calm, but she's firm. The bag exceeds dimensions, it goes below, or the passenger doesn't fly. Clear, professional, non-negotiable. The passenger demands to speak to the captain, loud enough that Wayne hears from the cockpit. He's irritated immediately. Another passenger problem, another delay, another thing requiring his attention when all he wants is to push back and get this flight over with. Wayne emerges from the cockpit, approaches row 18, asks what's happening. The passenger immediately complains, says Selena's being unreasonable. The bag clearly fits. She's creating problems, making them late. Wayne doesn't assess the situation, doesn't check bag dimensions, doesn't support his crew, just wants the problem gone. Tells Selena to let the bag stay. They're already delayed. Just make it work. Selena's jaw tightens slightly. She explains calmly, the bag exceeds carry-on limits. Safety regulations require... Wayne cuts her off, says he's authorizing an exception. Make it happen. Turns to walk back to the cockpit. Selena speaks up, respectfully but firmly. Reminds him the regulation isn't optional. If the bag stays and shifts during turbulence, it's a safety hazard. She needs him to either enforce the rule or document his override in writing. Wayne stops, turns. His eyes flash with anger. The legal language registers, documentation, written override. This flight attendant knows too much. Talking like a lawyer, questioning his authority, making demands. He steps closer, voice low but sharp. Tells her not to lawyer him. He's the captain. His decision is final. No documentation needed. The bag stays. Are they clear? Selena holds his gaze. Says clearly if there's an incident she reported the concern and he overrode safety protocol. She's documenting that in her report. Wayne's face reddens. Tells her to do whatever she wants. Then returns to the cockpit. Slams the door harder than necessary. Amanda glances at him. Asks if everything's okay. Wayne snaps that everything's fine. Tells her to finish the damn pre-flight so they can leave. Amanda returns to her check silently. She's seen Wayne spiral before. Tonight feels worse. Boarding completes. Doors close. Flight 374 pushes back 15 minutes late. Wayne's voice over the PA, monotone, unwelcoming, announces flight time, altitude, arrival. No warmth, no personality, just information. Passengers barely pay attention. The A340 taxis, takes off, climbs over Miami, evening lights falling away, ocean ahead. The cabin settles into night flight mode, lights dim, movies start, passengers sleep or read. The long Atlantic crossing begins. Selena works first service, drinks, meals, routine tasks, but she's watching the cockpit. Wayne's behavior concerning her, the exhaustion, the irritability, the complete lack of professionalism. She's seen pilots like this in case files, burnout leading to poor judgment leading to incidents, incidents leading to disasters. 2 hours into flight, they're over open ocean now, autopilot, engaged, smooth air, routine. Wayne tells Amanda he's taking a break, stretching his legs. She confirms she has the aircraft. Wayne exits the cockpit, heads to the lavatory, then lingers in the galley, gets coffee, stands there drinking it, not going back. Selena's working the galley, preparing second beverage service. She notices Wayne's coffee cup shaking slightly, his hands trembling, fatigue, or something more. She approaches carefully, asks if he's feeling all right. Can she get him anything? Wayne's response sharp. Says he's fine, doesn't need a flight attendant mother henning him. Selena backs off, says she was just checking, Part of her job. Wayne drains his coffee, slams the cup down harder than necessary, tells her to focus on passengers, stay out of cockpit business. Selena's radar fully up now. She's seen this before, not in person, in depositions, in incident reports, pilots showing signs of impairment, fatigue, stress, emotional instability, the warning signs. Before everything goes wrong, she makes a decision. Professional, careful, says she needs to mention something. She noticed he seemed fatigued during boarding. The airline has fatigue reporting protocols. Would he like her to help him file? That's when Wayne snaps. His hand shoots out, grabs Selena's arm just above the elbow, grip tight, fingers digging in, pulls her closer, his face inches from hers, voice low and threatening. His exact words matter. "Don't you dare question me again." Selena's legal training kicks in immediately. Note everything: time, location, witnesses, physical contact, threat. She doesn't pull away aggressively, doesn't escalate, just looks at his hand on her arm, then at his face, voice steady, quiet, tells him to let go of her arm. Now! Wayne holds for 3 more seconds. Power play, intimidation, then releases, tells her to mind her own business, stop playing lawyer, and if she reports anything, he'll make sure she never works another international flight. He has friends, seniority, union protection. She's nobody. He returns to the cockpit, leaves Selena standing in the galley, arm throbbing where he grabbed, but her mind razor sharp. Because Wayne made a critical mistake, multiple mistakes actually. First, the galley is directly adjacent to the cockpit. The cockpit door was open during the incident. The cockpit voice recorder captures sounds from the cockpit and immediate vicinity, including the galley, including everything Wayne just said and did. Second, there's a witness. Another flight attendant, Maria, saw the entire interaction from the aft galley, saw Wayne grab Selena, saw the threatening body language. Third, Selena knows exactly what to do with this information. She spent 5 years handling cases exactly like this. She knows the evidence chain, the reporting procedures, the investigation process, and she knows that Wayne Barrett just assaulted a crew member in a space monitored by the most reliable witness in aviation. The black box. Selena goes to the aft galley. Maria's already there, eyes wide. Asks if Selena's okay. Did Wayne just grab her? Selena confirms. Then asks Maria to write down exactly what she saw. Time, location, actions, words, everything. Maria nods, pulls out her phone, starts documenting. Selena documents too. Opens her phone's notes app, records the incident. Time, approximately 21:45 UTC. Location, forward galley, adjacent to cockpit. Physical contact, Captain Barrett grabbed my left arm with his right hand, grip tight enough to cause pain and likely bruising. Verbal threat stated, "Don't you dare question me again," and threatened my career if I reported. Witness, flight attendant Maria Santos. Evidence: incident occurred with cockpit door open, likely captured on CVR. That last part is critical. Selena knows the CVR records on a continuous loop, 2 hours of audio, everything in the cockpit, and sounds from immediately outside when the doors open. Wayne's threat, his physical assault, his abuse of authority, all captured, all preserved, all admissible in an FAA investigation. But she also knows CVR data gets overwritten unless preserved. She needs this flight to land, needs the investigation opened immediately, needs the CVR pulled before it loops over Wayne's assault. She checks her arm. Red marks where his fingers dug in. They'll bruise. Good physical evidence. She photographs them, documents the marks, time-stamped. Then she makes another decision. She's reporting this tonight, the moment they land. Full formal complaint, FAA notification, union involvement, legal action if necessary, because Selena Cruz didn't leave a law firm to get assaulted by a burned-out captain who thinks seniority makes him untouchable. And Wayne Barrett is about to learn that the black box doesn't care about your seniority. It just records the truth. 4 hours into the flight, they're halfway across the Atlantic now, 37,000 feet over dark ocean. Most passengers asleep, cabin lights low, the peaceful illusion of routine. But in the cockpit, tension builds. Wayne's spiraling. Amanda notices but doesn't know the full picture. doesn't know about the Galley incident, doesn't know Wayne assaulted a crew member, just sees him getting more agitated, more erratic, making small mistakes, forgetting checklist items, snapping at her questions. She tries to engage, asks if he wants her to handle communications for a while, let him rest. Wayne refuses, says he's fine, but he's clearly not. His hands still trembling, eyes bloodshot, stress radiating off him. In the cabin, Selena continues working, professional, efficient, but her mind's racing, planning. She knows the incidents on CVR, but CVR alone isn't enough. She needs corroborating evidence, witness statements, physical documentation, a timeline that makes her credible and Wayne indefensible. She talks to other crew members quietly, not gossiping, building a case, asks if anyone else noticed Wayne's behavior, his fatigue, his irritability. 2 other flight attendants confirm Wayne was short with them during boarding, dismissive during briefing, not himself. Selena documents these conversations, notes who said what, times, observations. She's building a pattern, not just one incident. A pilot showing signs of impairment, making poor decisions, then assaulting crew when questioned. The FAA takes this seriously, very seriously. Maria pulls Selena aside, asks if she's really doing this, really reporting a captain. Selena confirms absolutely. Maria's worried, says Wayne has seniority, union backing, he could make their lives hell. Selena explains he already made that threat, threatened her career for reporting safety concerns. That's textbook retaliation, also illegal, also documented. But Maria's concern is valid. Many crew members don't report because they fear retaliation. Because captains have power, because the system protects rank over safety sometimes. Selena knows this, saw it constantly in her legal work. Cases that never got filed because victims were scared. Evidence that disappeared because people didn't know how to preserve it. Not this time. Selena knows exactly how to do this right. 5 hours into flight. Wayne's behavior worsening. Amanda's seriously concerned now. Wayne's making navigation errors, missing radio calls, his decision-making slipping. She gently suggests maybe he should rest. Let her handle things for a while. He could take the crew rest seat, get some sleep. Wayne explodes, tells her he doesn't need rest, doesn't need her advice. She's a first officer. He's the captain. She does what he says, period. Amanda goes quiet. She's never seen him this bad, this volatile, something seriously wrong. She makes a decision, waits until Wayne's distracted. Then she activates the cockpit interphone, calls the cabin. Selena answers. Amanda keeps her voice low, asks to speak to the purser. Selena is the purser. Amanda asks her to come to the cockpit, brings coffee as a cover, but Amanda needs to talk. Selena arrives with coffee, enters the cockpit. Wayne barely acknowledges her, staring at instruments. Amanda catches Selena's eye, gestures for her to stay a moment. Then Amanda addresses Wayne, says she needs to use the lavatory. Be right back. Wayne waves her off. Amanda exits, leaves Selena in the cockpit with Wayne. Intentional. She wants Selena to see what she's seeing, Wayne's condition, his impairment, because Amanda's starting to think they have a safety issue and she needs witnesses, Selena observes. Wayne's staring at the flight management system, but his eyes unfocused, not really seeing. His breathing heavy, stressed. She notices his hands, still shaking, coffee cup rattling slightly in the holder. This man's not fit to fly, shouldn't be here, shouldn't be in command of 290 lives. She speaks carefully, asks if he needs anything, water, food. Wayne doesn't respond, just sits there, lost. Then suddenly aware of her presence, turns, asks what she's still doing in his cockpit, tells her to get out. Selena starts to leave, but Wayne's not done, starts venting, rambling about the airline, about passengers, about flight attendants who think they know better, about people questioning him, testing him, making his life harder when all he wants is to get through his shift. And he mentions the Galley incident. His exact words captured by the CVR. I don't need crew members playing lawyer, asking about fatigue reports, documenting everything. I know what you're doing, building a case. Well, forget it. I'm protected. You touch me, and you're finished. Selena says nothing, just listens. Let him talk. Let him incriminate himself, because everything he's saying, going on the black box, permanent record, and he's confirming the assault, confirming the threat, confirming his intent to retaliate. Any airline lawyer hearing this recording will know immediately. Termination case. Any FAA inspector will know license suspension case. Amanda returns, senses the tension. Thanks Selena for the coffee. Selena exits, but she heard enough. Wayne's in crisis, and he's threatening anyone who notices. Amanda waits until Selena's gone, then addresses Wayne directly, says she's concerned about him. He seems unwell. They're 3 hours from Madrid. Maybe they should consider having her take over as pilot in command. Let him rest. He has the authority to transfer control. Wayne's reaction, immediate and furious, tells her she's out of line, questioning his fitness. He's fine, perfectly capable. She needs to shut up and do her job. Amanda tries to de-escalate, says she's just concerned. Wayne cuts her off, threatens to report her for insubordination, says he'll have her removed from international routes. She's done if she pursues this. Amanda goes silent. She's trapped. She sees the problem, but challenging a captain mid-flight is career suicide. And Wayne's making it clear, question him, lose your job. She returns to her checklist, monitors instruments, says nothing more. But Wayne keeps talking, venting to himself mostly, captured on CVR, complaining about the system, about regulations, about people who don't understand the pressure, about flight attendants who think they're lawyers, about first officers who don't show proper respect. He mentions Selena again, says she needs to be taught a lesson, put in her place. He'll make sure she understands the chain of command. He's not done with her, not by a long shot. Every word recorded, every threat documented. Wayne building his own prosecution, and he has no idea. 6 hours into flight, approaching European airspace, dawn breaking ahead, passengers waking, the cabin crew prepares for arrival service. Breakfast, coffee, landing procedures. Selena works mechanically. Her arms bruised now. Deep purple marks where Wayne's fingers dug in. She photographs them again. Clear evidence, time-stamped, medical documentation waiting at Madrid. Maria approaches, whispers that other crew members know something happened. They're asking questions. Should Selena tell them? Selena decides yes, transparency. Multiple witnesses, more documentation. She gathers the cabin crew in the aft galley, explains what happened, shows the bruising, explains she's reporting everything when they land. The crew's reaction mixed. Some supportive, some scared. One flight attendant, older veteran, warns Selena this could backfire. Wayne has 20 years, union lawyers. She has 7. They'll destroy her credibility, paint her as vindictive, ambitious, lying. Selena understands the concern, but she also knows something they don't. She has evidence they can't destroy. The CVR independent, objective, unimpeachable. Wayne's own words will convict him. Flight 374 begins descent into Madrid. Wayne handles it sloppily. Radio calls missed, altitude deviations, Amanda compensating, covering, trying to keep them safe despite Wayne's impairment. They land, rough. Passengers jolt in their seats. Not dangerous, but unprofessional. Wayne doesn't care, just wants this flight done. Get to the hotel, sleep. Forget this nightmare. The A340 taxis to the gate, passengers deplane, grateful to be on ground, unaware of the drama. The assault, the recording, the investigation about to begin. Selena waits until passengers clear. Then she approaches the gate manager, requests immediate contact with airline management, says she has a serious incident to report, physical assault by the captain, requires immediate investigation. The gate manager's expression shifts from routine to serious, takes Selena to an office, contacts Madrid operations. Within 20 minutes, airline security arrives, Spanish Aviation Authority notified, FAA notified, the machinery of investigation spinning up. Selena gives her statement, detailed, precise, legal training evident, time, location, actions, words, witnesses, physical evidence, and the critical detail, the cockpit door was open. The CVR was recording. Everything Wayne said and did is on that black box. The investigator's eyes widen. CVR evidence. That changes everything. Makes it from he said, she said to documented fact. They immediately secure the aircraft, tag the CVR, preserve the data, begin the formal investigation. Wayne's in his hotel when security calls, tells him to return to the airport immediately. Investigation opened. He's grounded pending review. Wayne's confused. Investigation? What investigation? Security explains. Flight attendant Selena Cruz filed assault charges, physical contact, verbal threats, multiple witnesses, CVR evidence. Wayne's blood runs cold. CVR evidence. He forgot, completely forgot. The door was open, the recorder running, everything captured, his assault, his threats, his admission of intent to retaliate. All there, all permanent, all fatal to his career. He tries to explain, says she questioned his authority, got in his face, made him react. Security cuts him off, says save it for the formal hearing. For now, he's grounded, licensed, suspended pending investigation. He's to return to Miami immediately. No contact with crew, no statements without union representation. Wayne hangs up, sits on the hotel bed. 20 years of flying, about to end because he grabbed a flight attendant's arm, because he couldn't control his temper, because he forgot the one rule every pilot knows: the black box records everything. 48 hours later, FAA Regional Office, Atlanta Investigation Conference Room, airline representatives, FAA inspectors, union officials, Selena Cruz, Wayne Barrett, and the evidence that will decide everything, the Cockpit Voice Recorder transcript. Selena sits calmly, professionally dressed, her legal training evident in her composure. She knows how this works, knows what the CVR will show, knows Wayne has no defense. Wayne sits across the table, union lawyer beside him. He looks older, defeated, the confidence gone, replaced by the realization that he destroyed his career in 3 seconds of anger. The chief FAA inspector opens the proceedings, reviews the complaint, physical assault on crew member, verbal threats, abuse of authority. Then he introduces the key evidence. The CVR recording from Flight 374, 2 hours of audio captured, including the Galley incident, including Wayne's subsequent cockpit statements, including everything. They play the recording, the room goes silent. Listening. First, the Galley confrontation. Clear audio. Selena's voice, professional and concerned, mentioning fatigue protocols. Then Wayne's voice, sharp and angry, the sound of physical contact, clothing rustling. Selena's sharp intake of breath, Wayne's threat. Don't you dare question me again. His additional warning about reporting, his assertion of seniority protection, all captured, all undeniable. Then, the cockpit venting 20 minutes later. Wayne complaining to himself while Amanda's out of the cockpit, his words slurred with fatigue and stress, talking about Selena, about teaching her a lesson, about putting her in her place, about being protected, incriminating himself with every sentence. Then his confrontation with Amanda, her gentle suggestion that he rest, his explosive response, his threats, his admission that he's retaliating against anyone who questions his fitness. The recording ends. The room stays silent for 10 seconds. Finally, the FAA inspector speaks, asks Wayne if he disputes the recording's authenticity. Wayne's lawyer starts to respond. The inspector cuts him off, asks Wayne directly. Wayne shakes his head, doesn't dispute it, can't dispute it, that's his voice. Those are his words. That happened. The inspector turns to Selena, asks her to describe the physical assault in detail. Selena does, clinical, precise, explains how Wayne grabbed her arm, where he grabbed, how hard, how long, shows the photographs of the bruising, time-stamped, clear evidence of force. Maria Santos provides witness testimony, confirms everything Selena described, saw the grab, saw the threatening body language, heard the words. Her statement matches Selena's perfectly. 2 independent accounts, plus the CVR, 3 sources of truth. Amanda Foster provides testimony too, describes Wayne's deteriorating condition during the flight, his impairment, his poor judgment, his threats against her for expressing safety concerns. Another witness, another confirmation. The airline's chief pilot reviews Wayne's recent performance records, multiple incidents over the past year, late arrivals, missed radio calls, passenger complaints about unprofessional PA announcements, flight attendant concerns about his behavior, a pattern, escalating, leading to this. Wayne's lawyer tries to mount a defense, claims Wayne was stressed, fatigued, not thinking clearly, asks for leniency, remedial training, suspension, but not termination. The inspector's not buying it, points to the CVR. Wayne didn't just make a mistake. He assaulted a crew member, threatened her, threatened his first officer, showed signs of unfitness for duty, then tried to intimidate witnesses. The inspector addresses Wayne directly, explains the findings. The evidence shows physical assault on a crew member, verbal threats and attempted retaliation, violation of crew resource management protocols, failure to maintain professional standards, operating while impaired by fatigue and stress, and most critically, attempting to use authority to silence safety concerns. Then the consequences. FAA, emergency revocation of his airline transport pilot license, effective immediately, permanent, no reapplication, no appeals. The assault crosses a line, the threats cross another. Together they make Wayne Barrett unemployable as a pilot. The airline delivers their decision. Termination for cause, effective immediately, 20 years of service ending, no retirement benefits, no severance. Cause termination voids those protections. Union can grieve but won't win. The evidence too strong, the violation too severe. Wayne says nothing, just sits there, everything gone, career, pension, identity, all because he couldn't control his temper, couldn't handle stress, couldn't treat crew with basic respect. The meeting ends. Wayne escorted out. He'll never fly commercially again, never command a cockpit, never wear the 4 stripes. 20 years erased by 2 minutes of recorded truth. Selena stays behind. The airline representatives want to talk. Different tone, apologetic. Explain they're taking this seriously, reviewing protocols, training, support systems to identify pilot burnout before it escalates. Then an offer. Airlines restructuring their crew safety programs, creating a new position, crew safety and legal compliance officer, someone who understands aviation law, understands crew rights, can develop policies to prevent incidents like this. They want Selena. She asks about the scope. The position would give her authority to review safety concerns, develop reporting protocols, train crew on documentation and evidence preservation, work directly with FAA and legal teams. Real power, real change. Selena accepts, but with conditions. She wants mandatory CVR review protocols after any crew complaint, wants independent investigation requirements, wants retaliation protection with teeth, wants crew members educated about their rights. The airline agrees, everything she wants. They need someone like her, someone who knows the law, knows aviation, and proved she won't back down. 6 months later, Selena's in her new role, leading training sessions across the airline, teaching crew members about their rights, about documentation, about evidence preservation, about the power of the black box. She tells her story, not for sympathy, for education, shows the bruise photos, plays portions of the CVR transcript with company permission, explains how she built the case, how she preserved evidence, how she used her legal knowledge to ensure justice. Crew members listen intently, grateful, empowered. They learn that they don't have to accept abuse, don't have to stay silent, don't have to fear retaliation if they document properly. The system can work when you know how to use it. The airline updates its policies. New rules about pilot fitness for duty, mandatory fatigue reporting, anonymous safety reporting systems, CVR review protocols after any physical contact complaint, Selena's fingerprints on every change. Wayne Barrett works as a flight instructor now, not airline, small flight school, teaching private pilot students, the only flying job he could get after FAA revocation. He teaches basic maneuvers, traffic patterns, cross-country navigation, everything he once did without thinking. His students don't know his history, don't know he flew A340s across oceans, don't know he commanded 290 passengers, don't know he threw it all away in a moment of burnout and rage. He doesn't tell them, just teaches, collects modest pay, tries not to think about what he lost. Sometimes at night, flying alone in a Cessna 172, he thinks about that galley, about grabbing Selena's arm, about the words he said, about the cockpit door being open, about the black box recording everything, about how 3 seconds of violence cost him 20 years of career, about how if he just controlled himself, just taken a break, just treated his crew with respect, he'd still be flying the Atlantic, still commanding, still respected. But he didn't, and the recording doesn't lie. Selena continues her work, becomes a voice in aviation safety circles, speaks at conferences about crew rights, about documentation, about legal protections. Other airlines adopt her protocols. Other crew members learn from her example. Her assault became a catalyst. Individual trauma turned into systemic improvement. She still flies occasionally, stays current, stays connected to the work, but her real impact is policy, training, culture change, making sure the next crew member who faces assault has the tools to fight back, has the knowledge to preserve evidence, has the courage to report. Aviation industry trainers use Flight 374 as a case study, teaching about burnout, about abuse of authority, about why the black box exists, about how recorded truth protects everyone, good pilots from false accusations, crew members from powerful abusers, passengers from impaired operators. The story spreads beyond aviation, becomes an example in workplace safety courses, legal seminars, human resources training. How one person with knowledge and courage can challenge power, how documentation defeats intimidation, how truth preserved becomes justice served. Captain Wayne Barrett learned that authority without accountability is tyranny, that seniority doesn't protect assault, that crew members aren't disposable, and that the black box doesn't care about your rank, it just records what happened. Selena Cruz learned that knowledge is power when wielded correctly, that standing up costs something, but silence costs more. That individual courage can create systemic change, and that sometimes the most important witness is the one that can't be intimidated, the recording that captured everything. 20 years of experience destroyed by 2 minutes of violence, 7 years of service transformed into a career protecting others, all because one captain forgot the most important rule in aviation. The black box is always listening, and the truth it records can't be threatened, can't be silenced, can't be destroyed. It just is. Permanent, undeniable, justice in digital form. Wayne Barrett's career ended when he grabbed Selena Cruz's arm. But her career in crew safety began the moment she remembered that the cockpit voice recorder was running. That knowledge became power. That power became change. That change protects every crew member flying tonight. The black box knows, and now everyone else does too.